Hey, I just saw Annika's video for the pagan perspective, and that reminded me of a video that I wanted to make. So I will make it now. It is about Påskkärringar, or in English that would be Easter witches. It is a tradition in Sweden, and first I'll tell you a little bit about what the tradition looks like now, and then I'll tell you about the story behind it. What happens is that children, they klär ut sig. They put on clothes to look like a witch, but not a witch with a pointy hat, but a witch with a scarf around her face. Well, a scarf around her head, more like a farmer's girl, sort of. Like the scarf goes around the face with the big bow. Not always the bow, but yeah. And then they have nice red cheeks and a couple of freckles. And they wear a dress, and that's it. Then they go to the neighbors' houses. They ring the doorbell, and nowadays, unfortunately, they just hold up their bag and expect you to put some Easter candy in the bag. I think it's only 10 years back or something that they were still expected to make little holiday cards with a little drawing on it, and then wish the receiver of the card a happy Easter, and then they would give you the card in exchange for candy. But the card has lost its existence, unfortunately. So that's the tradition right now. And this is based on a very grim story that basically sort of came up from the 1600s. And it's around that time also that the witch burnings, I don't think they were burnt here, they were drowned mostly and hanged. But around the 1600s, the witch burnings were like at its peak in Sweden. And the story is that once a year, the devil would invite all the witches to a feast. And that would be around Easter. So witches who lived in secrecy to not be discovered, they would then, on the night of the Thursday before Easter, they would steal a local animal, and then with that animal, not with a besom, but with that animal, they would fly to the secret place where they are supposed to meet the devil for this feast. And this area where that's going to be is called Blåkulla. They would get to this big hall. They would sit at the tables. They would sit at the tables with their backs towards the table, thinking they would eat all these lovely yummies, and they would eat with their left hands over their left shoulders. And it's not until like the end of the meal that they find out that they haven't been eating all these yummy goodnesses, but they've been eating like frogs and snakes and worms and stuff instead. After the dinner, there would be a dance where the devil would lay on the ground, beating the rhythm with his tail on the ground. And all the witches would dance together with their backs towards each other again. And then the dancing would eventually evolve into an orgy, where everybody would have sex with everybody, including the devil and his helpers. And strangely enough, this would also be done with the backs towards each other. Don't ask me how, I'm not going to get into that. So, once all that is over, the witches return home the day before Easter, or on the first Easter day. I'm not entirely sure about that. And then the next day, it would be very difficult to tell which of the women of the village have attended the Devil's Feast and which haven't. But apparently it was said that if you would look through a certain ring next day at church at Easter Mass, and if you would look at everybody through this ring, you would see that some of the women would sit with their bum facing at the priest, which was of course a sure sign of that person being a witch and having attended the devil's party. Yeah, that's a tradition in Sweden. Evil witches. I hope you will have a nice Easter, even if you've had a nice ostada already, because I know we will be doing both. So, see you next time. Bye!